fractions. So simplifying fractions basically means you're taking a fraction and you're trying to find out everything that can divide equally in both the numerator and the denominator, the largest number, and break it down into where nothing else can divide into both the numerator and denominator other than 1. It's you're finding the greatest common factor that can go into both of those, okay? So if we look at 2 and 4, we know that 2 and 4 are divisible by 1, but if I divided 2 by 1 and 4 by 1, I don't change my fraction, so that won't simplify it. But I can also see they're both even numbers, so they're both divisible by 2. So if I divide the numerator by 2, I get 1, and if I denominator by 2, I get 2. There's nothing else that can go into 1 or 2. They're both prime. This is a prime number, and 1 is not going to change. 1 can only go into 1. So 1/2 is the simplest form, or the simplified version of 2/4. Now these are equal fractions, but this is the simplified version of it. All right, so if I have something like 26 over 30, I look and think of my divisibility rules. First of all, I know this is divisible by 10 because it ends in a 0, but that doesn't end in a 0, so it's not. This is divisible by 5, but that doesn't end in a 5 or 0, so it's not. This is an even number, and that's an even number, so I could start with 2. That'll work. So I'm going to go ahead and start there because they're both even numbers. So 2 goes into 30, and you can do it off to the side if you need to do this. You can do it, but I know 2 goes into 30 15 times, all right? And 2 goes into 26, same thing. You'd have to go over here if you don't know. Do it out. 2 goes into 26 13 times. 13 is a prime number, and 13, there's nothing times 13 that'll give me 15, so this is my simplest form, equal to that, but the simplest form of that fraction. All right, let's take another one. All right, let's take 14 over 20. All right, I can see they're both even numbers, so I know they're both divisible by 2, but I'm not looking to see if there's something else. 10 goes here, it doesn't go there. 5 goes here, but it doesn't divide into that one. 4 goes into 20, but it doesn't go into 14. 7 goes into 14, but not 20. So I'm not really finding anything, so I'm just going to go with my 2. Remember, whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. Okay, 2 goes into 14 7 times. You guys hear the bell? Because I'm doing this at school. 2 goes into 20 10 times. It's carpool time, guys. Okay, we'll pause for a second. All right, so 2 goes into 14 7 times. 2 goes into 20 10 times, and there's nothing that can go into 7 and into 10 evenly other than 1. 7's prime, so only 7 and 1 can go into it, and that nothing else can go into 10 that can go into 7. So 7/10 is my simplified version. So you can take any number, it could be a large number, and you think, what can go into 120 and what can go into 200? Well, they both end in 0, so I can say 10. Whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. 10 goes into that 12 times, and 10 goes into that 20 times. But if you look, it's still not as simple as can be, because I can divide something into 12 and also 20. I can divide 2 into both of those. So I'm going to go again. 2, because they're both even numbers. 2 goes into 12 6 times, and 2 goes into 20 10 times. But look, I've got even numbers again. So see, I could have divided 4 into both, but maybe I wouldn't have seen that. So I'm going to divide 2 again. Top and bottom. 2 goes into 6 3 times, and 2 goes into 10 5 times. Now, I have 2 prime numbers, so I know for sure. That's my lowest, or my simplified version of this number. So you have to look. I mean, I could have started over here and said, well, 10 goes in, and maybe you would have seen 4 goes into 12, and 4 goes into 20. You could have done that and gotten to this point faster. But even if you don't see it, look and check with your divisibility rules and see what will work, and just keep dividing it down till the numbers you get, numerator and denominator, are only divisible by 1. Nothing else can go into both of them evenly. Okay? And that's simplifying fractions.